And back on another edition of CNY Music Now. It's a Sunday night studio session. Vinny Bellardini on X101 Always Classic, American Vintage Productions, and Mr. Charles Walton across from me again, and two more special guests. Charles, how you doing, my friends?
I'm doing well. Vinny, how you doing?
I'm doing. If I was doing any better, then I don't know. I wouldn't be here. You'd probably be calling me.
And if I was doing any better, I'd be you. So, there you go. Oh. Yeah, we got some fun, talented guys in the booth.
I'm excited about this one.
You know, from All Poets and Heroes, we've got Rob and Corey. Guys, how you been?
Good. Yeah, we're good.
What you guys been up to during all of this craziness? You know, we always start out that way, just so people get caught up.
Well, at one point I came down and hung out with you guys already. Did a little solo set with you guys with the video series and stuff before. So that was cool. So that was helped during the craziness. So that was nice. And then
I think mentally we broke down for a little bit, and then we used that to do a record that is going to be out at some point, and we have a lot of stuff for that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in the works right now.
So very a little reactionary, but also still our own thing. Can't give credit to COVID all the time.
No,
we get to have our own shit. You know, it doesn't have to always be COVID.
Yeah. You know, you could. There's other reasons to slow down. You know, and kind of have different pace.
I think it's a good thing to decompress from time to time. You know, just kind of forced it on some of us in a good way. I think. You know.
We had
list pros and cons. Like anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But no, I think, Vinny, we're going to be in for a treat tonight because it sounds like we're going to get a lot of new music. So
just from the warming up too, I'm excited. It's I'm going to be in my vibes tonight.
Oh, nice.
I think.
It's always the goal. Let's get people right in the vibe.
The battery in my plastic cup that I was talking
Oh man.
Well, we're excited to hear some as you call it, kind of stripped down versions of songs from the new album. Also, they'll be heading to Boston here soon to record a music video, which will be really cool. We'll hear more about that. But lots of cool stuff happening from All Poets and Heroes. Guys, what do you want to start out the show with tonight?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I think we're going to start
with a classic.
An oldie.
With a classic from us.
Probably a newie for most people. But.
But we've been playing this one, I don't know, we wrote this in my bedroom in my parents' house when I was still living there, so it's been a while.
How cool is that, though?
For a minute.
It was our first EP we did with our friend Stephen Douglas Wolf, and it was awesome. It was a good time. It was hectic, but it was at Subcat too. We realized nothing against Subcat, we like them, but I remember that experience was very much like, man, I don't like being stuck in a studio. Yeah. Because then our first album we did in our friend Jeremy's house out in the woods with a lake, and it was awesome.
Just living rooms. We ended up doing it in living rooms, and it sounded phenomenal. But being in a studio sometimes puts a little extra pressure on you. It feels very. I like the word that was used the other day. It feels a little too sterile sometimes. You need to be out in the world and kind of this isn't costing me hourly. Because we're just in somebody's living room. So hey, why don't we take a break? Let's go get some tea. Let's go have a coffee. Let's chill for a bit. We're in a studio. They're like, yeah, you can go get coffee, but we will charge you.
Right, yeah.
Well, the
clock's running.
But Subcat was awesome. It was a great space, and it was a good starting off point. So
it was a great learning experience for us.
We'll start with the one that does the best of our shows from this EP.
Hey, let's do that.
It's called Daydreams.
Daydreams, All Poets and Heroes.
My whole life, you told me to dream, one day to give up everything, go work in tall buildings. You used to tell me the best is yet to come. You run and scrape your knees 'cause you're young, so young. You say I'm in too deep, I say let's play for keeps and build our own way. I know we're losing sleep 'cause some of our thoughts have turned into daydreams. Oh, it's never as it seems. breaks down, driving round and round. I'll laugh from the backseat, always that siren flashing. You say I'm in too deep, I say let's play for keeps and we'll I know we're losing sleep, 'cause all of our thoughts have turned into daydreams. Oh, it's never as it seems. You say I'm in too deep, I say let's play for keeps and run away. I know we're losing sleep, 'cause all of our thoughts have turned into daydreams. Oh, it's never as it seems. You say I'm in too deep, I say let's play for keeps and we'll wait. No, it's never as it seems. I know we're losing sleep, 'cause all of our thoughts have turned into daydreams. Oh, it's never as it seems.
Wow.
Oh man.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a great tune, man.
What a way to
Love
kick
those
it off.
lyrics, man. You know,
That's sweet.
you say I'm in too deep. I say let's play for keeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, where'd that come from?
Robbie and I were having a few beers, just trying to think of lyrics, and I don't know, had a fun rhyme scheme, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it made sense.
It does make sense.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you guys harmonize each other so beautifully too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's you got the lyrics and you got the sound too. I mean, it's a good
What's
combination.
nice too is, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you.
No, I was saying, like, we've, it started with just Robbie and I doing this together. Primarily Robbie doing lyrical, me doing musical.
Yeah.
And then we kind of, like, at times started give and take with that, where I do some lyrics and all that. And now we have a pretty cool band around us. Shout out to Ryan Jokel, Nash Robb, and Zach Fitzgerald in Denver. That's our band, and all three of them are far more talented than Rob and myself. So, well, Rob's more talented than me, too, but...
Oh,
No,
this
it's
is
a-
wow,
it's
this
a-
is live.
Yeah.
No, it's just
I'm
we've
just
all,
a-
it's all become a very nice collective thing.
Nice.
Which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. So
That's not true. We all have our talents,
Nice.
things we bring to it,
Yeah.
which is nice. But yes, I am the most talented. No, I'm just kidding. Probably the least talented, but I like to sing, so that helps.
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, see, I was thinking that it was a story about some woman in some bad relationship because we get that quite a bit.
That's actually how the
Yeah.
band did start. That is
So
the-
yeah. See, we weren't going the right path here, but
That's usually how most people get, or that's how some good songs get started, you know. And I'm glad for that because, you know, it's how you get through bad times, regardless of what it is, music, you know.
learn from the pain, man.
That's right.
Always.
That usually it makes a good song. So
Oh yeah. Why do you think Taylor Swift's always breaking up with
there,
people?
exactly. I think there's a pattern there.
Yeah.
You know, that we don't talk about. So,
Yeah.
you know. Sorry, Taylor Swift fans
It's just
out there.
it's
We're
just,
not
it's
following
just
the
fodder for music,
There you go.
and it's great music. So.
I think at times ours is a little bit more like we are the assholes sometimes. Not they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Which is-
we're more self-reflective
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and self-critical of
I
the
thought-
situation instead of being like you were a you were not. This didn't work out because you suck. It's
Right.
like, no, it's like, what did we do wrong here? How did we contribute to the downfall of this situation?
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough to do too. You know, is
Definitely.
to realize and accept your faults and your like the things that you did to maybe create a situation that you don't like that fact that you're in. But it's tough to admit that some of it was your fault. You know.
True.
Well, some music can be therapeutic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be sitting there just writing something, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, like also, you won't know how to figure out in your head, and then like you'll just be, I don't know, writing a line or playing a song, and you're like, oh crap, I think I just
And
figured
then
out
it
what
comes
my
out and you
feelings
figure it
are,
out.
you know, or whatever. So
Yeah, it's extremely cathartic.
Cathartic, exactly.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Especially, and I think the humility that can come from that.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, I really was kind of a tool.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like all of a sudden,
and
the
then
truth kind of fumbled out of your mouth, and you're like,
Yeah.
man.
That was me.
Yeah, that was 100% me.
My bad. That's my bad.
Comes with age, age and time and maturity too. I mean, you guys formed the band in 2015, right? It's only been 6 years. I mean, how much? Think about how much you guys have changed just in that 6 years. You know, individually, and then
Definitely
as a
band,
group.
yeah.
You know.
Definitely as a band, we've figured out the pieces, and feel like, especially with the last album that we put out during the pandemic, it felt like that was really like we established our sound for the first time ever. It was like, that's us. This is what All Opposing Heroes really represents. This is sort of that sonic scope that we felt like was like our sort of signature. We weren't trying to sound like anybody else anymore.
No.
It was just
we're taking bits and pieces, but it was all like pulling, Frankenstein it all together.
Yeah,
But
I think it turned out really cool.
I think
Great experience.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience.
Also, that light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is it.
Like we said, we had a friend, Jeremy Johnson. He used to work at Subcat, and he was our engineer, and we kind of took him all over Central New York to do it. Or he took us, rather. And it was a really great experience. I think, though, we talked about a lot of, existential stuff on that one. So I don't know if we really knew what we wanted to talk about. We just wanted to talk. For this next one, I feel like we very much, knew, and didn't even we didn't enter into it think I want to say this. We just started writing, and we all had these songs that came about from sitting in our houses for 3 months, and all of a sudden we started putting it all together in album format, and we're like, oh crap, this tells this very specific kind of story, which is a really cool thing to experience. I feel like
that kind of happened with Oculism too, the album that we were talking about before. But with this
one just seems a bit more just concise.
Yeah, absolutely. This one I think we've honed in on the craft even that much further, and it feels a little. Concise is a good word. Yeah. A little more to the point.
I think as any artist, every album, hopefully you see that. You see a little bit of growth. Not that I'm saying we did. People might hear it big. No, they didn't grow. But, hopefully what you see is, that growth. But what do they say? It's like the 2-album curse. Back in the day, you can have a great first album, but it's really the second album that matters because,
Well, they talk about it in that sophomore album.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's always you still hear that today. This is sophomore, and every's kind of got a raised eyebrow. Will they live up to the challenge?
Even
the sophomore slump, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't think it was her first album, but Billie Eilish's, what was her, When We All Fall Asleep, that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great album. And her newest one was still a really good album. I think it wasn't that one had such a specific sound. It was so much her,
She's getting poppy a little bit, isn't she? I think she's getting a little
I think she's always danced with pop. But that album was very dark, and it was cool. So it was really going that way, and I loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was his name, Phineas, her brother. He's just a whiz.
Phineas,
he's
incredible.
I just love that name.
Phineas,
Phineas,
Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, that was a great show.
That
my nephew loves that cartoon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, we got to hear some more music, guys. I'm itching from that first one.
I think what
did I say, Cruel next?
Yeah, I think we're doing Cruel next.
Going my handy dandy, my notes on my phone.
Rob McCall and Corey Jordan, by the way. In case you're just tuning in, we're with All Poets and Heroes.
We are notoriously terrible at
self-promotion.
Oh,
we
no.
were sitting here and talking to you guys all
One
night.
of the things that we should,
that's part of our job.
Yeah, that's our job. That's why I'm reminding everybody. You guys are fine.
We'll slip it in.
But that's sort of going back to that conversation. I almost jumped in and was like, let me play the song, because as we were talking about us being more critical of ourselves in these relationships.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah.
This is totally us being more critical of ourselves, is kind of reflecting on what we've done. This song is totally written in that mindset of the song's called Cruel, and it tells the story of this sort of this person feels like he's being put on trial. This character is not actually representative of me. It was this character I sort of developed. But he's being put on trial for some blunder. You never know what he actually did in this relationship, but it was so catastrophic that it ends the relationship, and he feels like it's unjust, And but at the end, he's kind of like, well, maybe I did play a role in this. Was that action that she brought up? Maybe not the whole truth, but was there really the truth still in there? And he's sitting there, very much questioning if he was in the right or the wrong. And I don't know if I know who's in the right or the wrong, but it's sort of this mock trial I played out to music, which
Wow.
Ended up
I love it.
working out. So this is a song called "Cruel." Put the cup down.
No, go.
Where was I that night? Well, I really don't remember. No photographs here, but it was late last September. And if it please the court, I've no evidence in my bag. And just my word, that's all a man really has. And sure, I've been a fool. But I cannot agree to what I'm accused. To what I'm accused. Oh, the crimes you accuse me of are heinous and cruel. And you're the judge, the jury, and the executioner too. Was I that cruel? Was I that cruel?
Oh, yeah. The judge, the jury, and the executioner too, man. You know that's too often the case, man.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You know, when we've been wronged in life, at some point you're going, it's like, how can you've got all of it. So how can I counter argue what I might have done, even if I think some of it was cruel, like you were saying in that song. So you know, where's the resolution there? Because you're like, I want a new judge.
Yeah. Actually, I joked with I said this on an interview once, and it was very much a joke, and my mom got mad at me for it. But I was like, I always thought the music video for that would be very funny, as if I like called a bunch of my ex-girlfriends and was like, you're just gonna stand and we're gonna like make like a trial scene happen, and they're just gonna stand there like arms folded, really ticked off the whole time. I'd be pleading my case. They wouldn't be having any of it.
That's a
my
great
mom was like,
great
all
idea.
your ex-girlfriends? How many ex-girlfriends do you have? I was like, it's not a lot, so it wouldn't make the scene very like riveting at all. But
well, you know, Matthew McConaughey made a movie about it, didn't he? So you know.
oh yeah, Ghost to Girlfriend's Past.
Oh yeah.
When McConaughey was going rom-com.
Yeah, there
Glad
you
he's
go.
back to acting now.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just started rewatching True Detective.
So good.
Oh yeah.
Love that show.
That's a good one.
That season. I haven't really watched the rest of the show, but
It's good. They wrap it up nice, but yeah, season 1 is just absolutely incredible.
True Detective? I've never
Oh
seen
yeah,
it. Really?
True Detective.
Oh.
Oh, McConaughey at his best.
He's it.
Pretty
It's
dark.
McConaughey's in it.
McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Yep.
Ooh,
It's
that's
awesome.
a good duo.
And Woody, I mean, yeah, some great acting from that man too.
Absolutely, they both.
I think of him
pull
as
out-
Woody at Cheers, and you're kind of like,
Yeah,
And then all right. Yeah, you think about the two of them early.
Woody Harrelson auditioned to be Matthew McConaughey's character Russ, and McConaughey auditioned. So they literally auditioned for each other's parts, and I guess McConaughey actually was like, you know what, I think I really want to be Rustin Cole. I think he's the more interesting character, and I just love it because they're friends, so they just wanted to work together too. But even the writers were like, "Yeah, we weren't gonna let you not be anybody but him." Like you auditioning was like very much just a formality. Like you were always gonna be this character. You were always gonna be this character. So I thought that was a very interesting story. But it's just such a good show. I will probably watch it again too at some point, and it'll be like the 10th time I've watched it.
Well, I found that's what I was doing during all of this craziness. I was going back and revisiting stuff.
Yeah,
it was kind of cool, to get your take. Like we were talking earlier about how the cells and everything changes. Yeah. And my take now going through, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think I've looked at it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you notice something you didn't notice before. You're like, oh my God, that was the whole time. It was right there. Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of good music came out during the quarantine too.
Oh yeah.
Some people were, keeping it alive, and the DIY thing came back strong, which is really nice. So.
Did you guys pick up any new techniques, any of that stuff? Because you guys have got band members. And Diver, I'm sure you were already kind of on that. And Rob, I think we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about
what were you doing? In terms of...
We, I always kind of have my house wired up with just random stuff to go pluck. But like I said, during the quarantine, we kind of started... Robbie and I were demoing stuff for a while, and then quarantine happened. And then... because of our last album, the guy who ended up helping us remix it and kind of tighten it up a bit, sent our friend,
a Homer Cortland native too.
Yeah. Mark Bankston. We've done a lot of stuff in the church over there actually. He sent this guy Alan Tate down in New York, who was from this band San Fermin, and he was Alan loved our first album. He was come down here, start demoing the stuff, and it was really awesome. So we go down there, and he was he's all right. He's you guys can get spacey and weird with it, and that's awesome. But he's the core has to be just a good song. So he's we're just going to do our first... We were there for 2 weeks, and our first 2 days were just straight, just me and Robbie reworking all the songs with him, because it was just acoustic guitars, pianos, and voice. He's we're not doing anything else. He's because it sounds good like this, and we start to form the songs around that, you'll know you have a good song. Because you can have a shitty song with a lot of cool sound effects, it's still going to be a crappy song. You can have a great song, and then the stuff you're going to add is just going to enhance it, not trying to cover anything up. So there's that, and then he let us off on our own journey, and then we all got to work in our own space in Liverpool, and we picked up a lot of tricks. I don't really know how refined we are at those tricks. I was just kind of figuring out as we went along, but we're figuring out tape delays, actually getting the tape and cutting it together and making it so it made this echo and loop. We were doing a lot of just going in other rooms with guitars and claps and
splitting
dropping stuff on the ground to get a specific tone and
splitting. One thing I loved is we'd split the amp tone a little bit. So one amp would be playing just the ambience from an instrument. The other one would actually kind of get everything else involved, so we could have control over the ambience a little more. And that was interesting, something I'd never thought of. Is we could split those into two different.
A lot
channels.
of that credit goes out to Mark Bankston, our engineer. He's kind of our unofficial sixth member. He's been just helping us get weird with stuff.
Absolutely.
And he just got this 1930s radio that we just recorded this whole thing on and messed with. We got really weird with it and got a lot of toys that just. I feel I'm not explaining it. I'm not explaining it well, but there's a lot of weird stuff that just happened. That was cool. So.
No, you definitely are. We were talking about a little bit beforehand too. All the different kind of tips and tricks that you can learn.
Oh yeah.
And add
tools of the
layer.
Well, the biggest tip too is if it sounds good, then it's music. A lot of people get down on the nitty gritty. Sure, there are certain things you have to do, but even I remember in our first record, the first song is called Fulcrum. You hear the guitar in the jack going, and it's not supposed to be it wasn't supposed to be. But then we heard they're that's kind of cool. It sounds freaky and weird, and we just kept it.
There's also we accidentally captured a drawer closing with silverware, and it ended up being sort of musical and interesting for noise, and I doubt anybody notices it, but
for us,
we almost cut the take.
Cool.
We almost cut the take, and they were kind of no, just keep rolling. We'll deal with it later. And we listen back to it. We're yeah, that's actually got to stay.
Keep it. Yeah. No.
And there's actually in the song "Cruel" at the very end of that one, you hear this echo of Rob going "Was I?" And what that is the headphones were on the floor, and the mic just picked up because they were blasting, and it sounded just he was really far away in a room. We're holy crap, that's cool. So
I think we ended up refining that idea, but that's how it started. It was very much just accidental.
Our philosophy is always have a mic going.
Yeah.
Always have a mic. That was also Prince's philosophy.
Prince as well. Yeah.
And keep every take. So that means if you're ever in a studio, careful what you say. So
I think
I'm
Prince
used
used
to
to do that
that.
on purpose.
and don't fart. And don't fart because it will be captured.
Yeah.
You probably make a good song about
we
that too. You know.
captured a lot of farts.
Yeah.
Also, we use this really intense microphone down in Alan's studio, and I've never had a microphone that was so clear.
Robbie would like swallow, and we had all
And everybody could
headphones
hear
on.
it. And it's like I'm doing it on purpose. I feel like
hear
this,
his spit
you know,
going like down his throat, and I was like, I had to leave the room. I was like, dude,
I gotta go.
or you'd hear like my lips part before I'm about to sing. Like you hear my lips part.
Right.
As it was going, wow.
Like this microphone was so intense, and at a certain point, it was, give me a crappier microphone. I can't hear my body's noises anymore. I don't want this.
churning my stomach. And,
Man.
That happens to me a lot. I'm a very audible like digester.
Yeah, so you gotta hear this.
But it does get very rhythmic. Like my you know, I'll have like a bubble in my throat or something. It'll be like book, 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 book. You know, and I'm like,
use it as a song.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get that microphone.
Music
put it
and
right
Yeah.
up.
Put it right there. Yeah.
And hit record, man.
Always.
Oh.
All right. What are we feeling next, boys?
Another one.
Another one. Another one.
We'll do one off the new album.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get some of these exclusives.
Yeah.
You're hearing it here first time.
Yeah, you're hearing it here. All Poets and Heroes, by the way. Rob and Corey with us on another Sunday night.
Great
studio
Sunday
session.
night.
Yeah.
Thank you to the guys at
Yeah, thank
CNY
you.
Music Now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
American Vintage.
Thank you to the All Poets and Heroes for showing up
Definitely
and
showing up.
with their A game. You know,
Yeah, it's starting to snow too. First.
I know.
First store of the season for us.
That was wild.
It was crazy.
Yep.
But just like, I wish I brought the hot sauces down so we could all just.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah,
No.
trying to
I
sing
think I
with
need
the
to-
hot sauce.
Yeah. I also have to sing now with hot sauce. No way, man. That's cruel. That is cruel.
That would.
This song is called Tinderbox, and it will be out at some point in the
sweet.
future.
Yeah. It's 3 a.m. when I start drinking. I'm all alone and it starts sinking in. Search for the 4-leaf clover. Make a wish, I wish it were over. 'Cause I'm tired of everyone saying it gets better when you're older. They say it gets better when you're older. Put some gold around your finger. Don't let the child in you linger too long. Time defines us in the end. And I've been spreading mine too thin. And I've been spreading mine too thin. They say it gets better when you're older. They say it gets better when you're older. It's 4 a.m. and I've caught up to the lovers who have all had enough. Lights out and fast asleep. Can I follow my feet? 'Cause I don't know where they lead. They say it gets better when you're older.
Peace and love.
Yes, indeed. Oh. You know, it gets better when you get older, Benny.
I'm hoping that.
I'm still hoping,
so.
you know. I'm still hoping.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the hope that I hang on to. No.
You've had a lot of people say, like, I've never heard that. I'm like, man, you have really pessimistic parents. Like, I was told that.
Yeah.
You know, like, whenever something was wrong with your kid, like, don't worry, it gets better.
Don't worry, it gets better when you
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. Yeah, a lot of things do get better as you get out of childhood. Then there's a lot of things you miss about childhood.
Absolutely.
You know.
Also, spoiler alert, we're not really necessarily talking about ourselves. We're talking about a kind of a bigger thing.
Yeah.
That will be revealed when we start releasing the album.
Hey-o.
More and more.
No, yeah, we were talking earlier that you guys are going to try and release stuff, you know, because of certain platforms and all of that. You know, monthly. But where can people find you, and where can they send the love?
Wherever you do it to any of your other artists. Find them at Instagram, Facebook. I mean, don't really use Facebook for music, but Instagram we're on, Spotify, Apple Music, all the normal stuff.
Yeah, we're on most of the platforms.
Tinder. No, I'm kidding. We're not Tinder.
Tinderbox.
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 Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, we're on pretty much all the platforms and all that stuff. That's the best way to like see if we're playing live or to catch releases too. Is just like socials and stuff. If you follow us on Spotify, I'm pretty sure like that's you know new release pops right up on your homepage, all that stuff. So yeah, if you want to hear if you want to hear the full version of that song and the full band version of that song, that'll be out in the coming months. Well,
yes, these are our stripped down versions.
Yeah.
I love them. Like you guys are doing all.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely
they heeded that message about, you know, make the song good early.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you can play off of that. So you know, they definitely took that to heart, man, without a doubt.
Now you guys got definitely a solid chemistry. You know, like it's, you know, it's a rarity. I think it's a rarity to have the ability to start with two guys and then be able to branch out into a full band and then branch back and do acoustic stuff, you know, like you guys.
I think we sort of been forced to that. Like we started this way, so we had to like learn to be really tight. Just the two of us playing open mics and a couple opening slots that we were lucky enough to get. And then unfortunately, that was just like a lot of opportunity that came. Even when we had the band, we could only play 45-minute set when we first started the band. It's like, well, if you want to play a little longer, why don't you just do this or that? So it honed us in that way. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Like as much as we were like, well, we want to play with the band. It tightened us up.
We also had a revolving door. It's also
that's true.
We
Yeah,
had a set band. We had a lot of
musicians.
Now we're set, but for a while there was it was hard to start to really hone in our sound. Actually, doing an album is what forced our hand.
That's true.
Like, here's the songs. Here's how we want them to sound. We got it that way. Because before it was just like, oh, we're trying to figure out what our sound is, and every month we're having a different drummer or another guitarist. So we're adding in a keyboard player. Now we're taking them away. And it's chaotic. But
it was chaotic for a while, but it weirdly like
it's part of the process.
Yeah, I made Corey and I a little stronger. We had to get through all those bumps, and as I've told a lot of people, Corey and I have been together for 6 years. It's the longest relationship I've ever been in. So
maybe I'll write a song about that one day.
Yeah.
You know.
We do. We do have a song about it, kind of.
You do?
It's more about just being in a band in general, not Rhea and Robbie, but.
Okay.
I'm not going to play it tonight, so I shouldn't have brought it up.
I thought he was going to end up in the trial music video.
Yeah.
You know, he'd be in the jury.
Corey.
That's right.
He's the only one who's like, this guy might be onto something. Actually, the 1975, as much as people either love or hate them, I do like them. But he wrote a song.
Cool band,
they're great. I think they're cool.
I think it is. Yeah.
But I think they wrote a song like for
Matt
the boys.
Healy. I'm not a big fan of their music. I like Matt Healy.
Yeah.
But I feel like.
But I think he literally wrote a song.
He's the
called,
main.
like,
He's the main guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you guys are good. He's a cool dude, interesting guy. But I do think it's funny because I think he did write a love song for his band, and they like play it live now. I think it's probably like For the Boys or like or like the Boys or something like that. And he like literally wrote, and it kind of like sounds like a little love song and until like the chorus. It's like, oh no, this is great.
Well, you know, you guys, the band is. I would always want to be in a band. You know, I feel like there's something special about a band.
It's fun.
You don't get from a team or.
That and being out on the road, oh boy, you learn a lot.
Know?
Oh yeah.
Are you excited for that trip?
Too much about the people.
Well, I was going to say too. You hear about some bands that like where they hate each other or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, why the hell would you do this then?
Yeah. What are you up to?
We've done up and down the East Coast. We've gone to Denver. We went out west, and both were amazing. But like, I can't imagine doing that and like not enjoying being around the people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Being in a car for 16 hours or
with people that you can't
or
stand.
whatever. Yeah.
You see some weird stuff. But.
Oh yeah.
Also, shout out Uncrustables. You make.
Oh yeah,
you make our road trips.
His dad's a food rep.
So he'd always get us like Uncrustables and.
So he got us a giant box of Uncrustables. And
saved us so many times.
We'd be starving. Like, well, we got to get there at this time, so we can't have time for food. So we're like, get the box of Uncrustables.
Get the Uncrustables out.
We ate every single one of them.
We ate so many Uncrustables.
And ever since that tour was what, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I always have Uncrustables stocked in my fridge now because of that.
Uncrustables? What are those?
Uncrustables.
The PB&J. What? You never know Uncrustables?
No.
Smuckers, the PB&J.
Smuckers, the PB. Oh yeah.
And they're just like the little circles, little
Shout out to Raspberry.
Oh yeah.
little discs.
Yeah, that might be my
I
next.
forgot about
my next
those.
Vice.
They're incredible.
Yeah,
It's a great little snack.
Because already done for you. That's
Are you guys
you know,
grape
I've been
jelly
making I've been making PB&J for like the last week now.
Have you?
Because I've just been jonesing for it, and I could I could have gone and got the Uncrustables.
Yeah.
Are you guys a strawberry or grape jelly?
I prefer
I'm
grape.
a grape kid, yeah.
But I'll go with either.
I guess I'm the.
You're the odd duck, huh?
I like them both, but I definitely like. I don't know. I think it's just Smucker's grape jelly. It's like special. Like I don't think that like I would like any other grape jelly other than Smucker's.
Welch's is okay. Yeah, Smucker's or Welch's.
Yeah, Welch's is
yeah.
good too.
My dad forced strawberry jelly. He also tried forcing Spam on us and as kids.
Wow.
Like one day, like we were like having dinner and I forget what the heck it was. Like it was some holiday, I can't remember. But it was me and all my siblings. And he brought us downstairs. He made all these hors d'oeuvres with Spam. He's like, "This is what we grew up on." So like, try it.
There you go.
And we all just like took a bite and immediately spit it out. He was heartbroken. We felt bad. But I was like, "Dad, there's a reason you worked hard to get out of that."
Also, Dad, watch out. I'm gonna break your heart.
If you enjoyed it, you would have said,
I'm gonna break your heart 10 times over. You think this was let down?
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm gonna try to grow up and be a musician.
I was like,
There you go. Yeah.
little did he know my stupid little brain was gonna try and do this. So.
You got to get hooked up though with Spam. You know, like if you get it done the Hawaiian way. So like if it's fried, you get if you get it done right, then you know because I like you as a kid. Yeah, when it got brought out, I was just like, no, I'm not doing this.
Wait, so
but I've had it since.
Is it like
you know,
pineapple
the fry
or?
it and pineapple, and you got that sweet Hawaiian
Sweet and
bread,
savory
and so
yeah.
So you know,
Oh,
and
you
then,
do a
I think and they
Hawaiian roll?
spice it up. Yeah, they do it on a Hawaiian roll. Oh man, yeah.
Actually, now I kind of want to try this.
And then,
I'll try anything.
And then there's a
Sure you
way,
will.
you know, I had it on like eggs once, you know, and somebody like just hooked it up, grilling it the right way and spicing it. And I was just
It's
like,
always
wow.
about how you prepare it, yeah.
So you know, I
Kinda like
opened up my eyes.
I like to
you know,
cook a lot, and what I got into recently, because I used to hate as a kid, is corned beef like hash.
Yeah,
with
corned beef
eggs.
hash.
I found it repulsive, and then I kind of was like,
You get to a good
just tried
diner
it,
that
and I was
knows
like,
how.
oh my god, this is incredible.
Yeah, a good
And
diner
I-
that knows how to make corned beef hash. Oh,
Well, I
man,
definitely
yeah.
judge a book by its
You
cover
know.
too. I never actually tried it until that point. But.
Yeah, see, no, I grew up, you know, camping, and it was the Denny Moore corned beef hash. So that, you know, that's a whole
Cooking
different
in the
thing.
can.
Yeah. So yeah, so exactly, that was it right there.
Yeah.
You know,
Love
got the griddle, fried egg, and dumped some on there. That was, you know.
Food tastes better when you do it like that.
Oh,
Sometimes.
I think I think it's, you know, it's the communal aspect.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
Yeah, there's
that and fire. Come on, man.
Yeah, we just smoked. My roommate just had some. We had some friends over this afternoon, and he smoked. He got a smoker, so he smoked pork shoulder
Yeah.
today, and like
Oh, there you
honestly,
go.
just like it takes freaking 8 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
like just hanging out,
Smelling it the whole
smelling
time.
it the whole day. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like just prepared differently. I
Yeah.
don't even.
No, you just make sure you got your libation sitting
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
you know, a little something to maybe snack on. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
We had some
uncrust- you know,
some
yeah.
charcuterie.
Yeah. There
My
you go.
girlfriend's a vegan, and we go to like a summer, like we have like a summer lake house we go through up in near Fairhaven, and so does Bay. And there's a little fire pit that they let you like. It's great. Because we do like an Airbnb and we befriended these people, so now there's less users ever. They give you kayaks and stuff. They give you a little fire pit, and I'm obsessed with the fire pit. And I always try to like cook a pepperoni stick on it. But she's vegan, and she's always like, "No, it's gross." And I'm like, "Just try it. It'll guarantee you will eat.
You'll
vegan
be
on it."
stuck, yeah.
You will
Nothing
not.
against veganism. I support vegan. I'm dating a vegan.
Yeah.
It's just that
You
the
also
reason
might
I
not.
could never go vegan is because something like a pepperoni
Pepperoni
stick
stick,
cooked on
yeah.
open fire. That's
No.
one of the best things.
Also, like her eating meat would like totally mess her stomach.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
like,
it's
she would not do well.
Yeah, you got to prep before that. Yeah, for
You
that
can't just
breakdown.
go straight
you
into
gotta
a
prep.
fire
No.
pepperoni stick.
No.
I like some vegan stuff. You know Strong Hearts?
Yeah.
Do you guys know? Well,
Yeah.
it's in Syracuse.
Strong Hearts Cafe.
Yep.
It's awesome, and she's kind of. I feel like she's subtly trying to like switch my way of thinking. I have nothing against veganism. I probably would never go full vegan, but they have some dope food up there.
Yeah.
I'm sure we should all cut a little meat out of our diet for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah,
like,
without
I
a
don't think I
doubt.
could ever like
No.
fully be like no.
No.
But we could probably
Oh, that would be
all
tough.
use a little less.
A little
Right.
less
Little
of the
less.
processed
Yes.
aspect of our meat industry.
Yeah.
I suppose that's true.
But I'm sorry,
you guys
good
might
corned
have
beef
to fight
sandwich,
me on
I ain't
it,
giving
but-
that up, guys.
Yeah.
There's certain things that ain't happening.
We got about 15 minutes left. I figure we could probably fit 2 more in here. Why don't you
I
guys
think so.
Yeah.
play
We got
one?
2 more for you.
Okay, play one, and then we'll come back, talk a little more, and
Yeah.
then play us out by that point. I would think
This will
so.
be another new one coming up.
Oh, sweet.
This one was written Robbie messing around, and me and Nash, our bass player, just ended up going off with it. So
Yeah.
it's called "Give It to Me Straight."
All right.
Don't do the laws. Let's just go.
Yeah. Are you gonna do the dun?
Oh, yeah. Well, just start playing.
Okay. You can tell we really planned this out.
Little did you know that the power goes straight to your head. It's destructive. Secrets you won't keep. Let the black worm creep out of your mouth and distort it. Can you give it to me straight? Don't hesitate, or you'll just ignore it. Can you give it to me? To me. Put your high heels on, you gotta put on, 'cause you know no man will trust you. A faker makes their mark with no walk, just talk in their face, disguised behind pixels. Can you give it to me straight? Don't hesitate, or you'll just ignore it. Can you give it to me? To me. Can you give it to me straight? Don't hesitate, or you'll just ignore it. Can you give it to me? To me straight. Can you give it to me straight? Don't hesitate, or you'll just ignore it. Can you give it to me straight? Can you give it to me straight? Don't hesitate, or you'll just ignore it. Can you give it to me? Can you give it to me straight? Don't hesitate, or you'll just ignore it. Can you give it to me
I didn't know how to end it.
I didn't know
I didn't know how
either.
to end
Wow,
it.
that was-
Boy, all poets and heroes.
That was so
Nice,
sweet, man.
Yeah. Oh, they gave it to us straight, brother.
They really did.
You know, they gave it to
No,
us straight right there.
They've been kicking us through tonight,
You
man.
know, that's-
You guys got a great sound. Seriously.
So that's
It's-
more of like a finger pointing at certain people that like to make decisions for the rest of us. So
I'll give it to you straight.
Yeah, give it to me
Who?
straight. You know?
It's like I wrote the lyrics. Did I mean that? No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like going back to COVID. We don't want to beat a dead horse here or anything, but I think the writing it always has been, but I think it just became so much more clear to the general public of just kind of the tomfoolery going around amongst our leaders.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not that I know anything about politics, and I'm the last person who should probably be judging any of them, but I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that gives we all have a right to be a little pissed off. I think you know,
Oh, yeah.
and it's at both sides.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully
So,
through
yeah.
that anger, and we hold them accountable, but not in the way that some people have been trying to with acts of violence or anything like
Right,
that. Like,
right.
hopefully we can find a better way to be more critical of our leaders. I mean, that's the great thing about our country is like we get an open forum at which we should talk to our leaders, and every couple of years we actually get to overthrow the government. It's pretty great. We put new people in office or keep people who have earned it, and we get that right every couple of years to do it. But with that right comes the responsibility to hold them accountable, and not just on election day. I think there are other ways in which we could hold our politicians accountable, and it doesn't have to come on election day with a ballot. I think there are other ways we can do that, and I think there are people doing it with protests and other things.
But I think some people take a little too, like, everything's very full send. I feel at times, or like, all right, like, if I am a Democrat and you're a Republican, you're my enemy. I think that's that's a very toxic way to view it.
It's been dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
We see it.
And obviously vice versa. Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
It's just that I think it's very toxic. It's very just anti-productive.
No, in the past, they worked across the aisles.
Yeah,
and they used to pride themselves on working across the aisles.
And having those debates, they would hang out after they got done with their sessions.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg and
you sent me the JFK and Nixon one.
Oh, I love that.
Because we were like drinking one night, like having this kind of exact conversation, and Robbie went home, and then like he sent me this video of like the two of them having just the most like, say what you will about either their politics, like whatever.
Yeah.
But in this, it was like two men in power having like a nice discussion and genuinely trying to like reach an agreement and like bring it further. And it was they were debating their points without being like, if you're with him and thinking like him, you're an idiot. And then you look back and you see the Trump isms with everything that happened with that, and I was just it was embarrassing, man. I had a friend from New Zealand that came over, and like he talked about it. He's just like, he's like it's nerve wracking. He's like, but I think like no one really thinks anything bad about the American people outside of the U.S., at least from his perspective. He said we just look at the politicians knowing the power that your country has, and that's scary.
Yeah.
And I remember he asked me, he's like, are you embarrassed to be an American? I was like, no, I love America. I'm very grateful to grow up here and live here and be born here. But just like any other country, we have some stuff to work on. We have a bloody history, just like any other country. We have some things that are embarrassing that we need to address and become better from it and acknowledge and grow. Sitting there being like, I just feel like sometimes people are like, I don't agree with this country, so I hate the country. And some people are like, I love this country, so we've never done anything wrong. And both of those are equally as
wrong.
An extreme point.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's very
equally as extreme and hyper.
An extreme point like that. But the one thing I will say about the JFK Nixon thing, and I've used this. I was a teacher for a while, and I've used this example. It was also two men who respected each other, even if they didn't agree. And I do love at one point, I think they asked, one of the reporters kind of says something that like clearly just wasn't.
That's a good point, Mike.
Or so he said, or like it was to JFK, and he said, well, blah 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 blah. This bill went against, Nixon's politics. And he goes, see, I think that's funny that you bring it up like that because Nixon actually mentored me on this bill. His party went against it, but Nixon was actually one who mentored me as a young senator, nobody, John F. Kennedy. And he was the one who kind of mentored me on this bill. And like he was like, showed me how to get this through, or at least like get this to the floor and have it be a viable option. And so instead of being like, yep, you're totally right, look at that dirtbag, he was like, no, actually, we were colleagues at one point. We worked together on this a little bit, and no, don't say that. Like, you're dumb, don't say that.
Don't say that. There you go.
And then there's the classic John McCain, where he shuts down the town hall debate over Obama. He's like, no, sir, he's a great man. Do not bring that. Do not bring that to this.
It's an older woman saying that he's going to bring like Islam to like America, and he just shuts it down. He's like, no, he's like, I know Senator Obama, we don't agree on certain things, but he's a good man. He's not trying to like undermine America.
And John McCain might have been one of the last greats. Truly, one of the guys who didn't. I mean, towards the end, he might have lost it a little bit, but at least in that moment,
he was like 80 years. I mean,
and even in his concession speech, he
was a gracious man.
He turns boos into cheers.
Yeah,
people are like, boo, we don't believe in this, and he goes, no. Yeah. And by the end of it, they're all cheering for Barack Obama, and that's a man who genuinely brought people together.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because if you disagree with Obama, he's trying to be he's our leader.
Yeah, he was rightfully elected, and whether you like it or not, we got to support him now. Yeah. We have to support him as the American people. He is your president. We got to make sure he does his job the best. And I think that's an incredible sentiment that clearly has been lost.
We lost it a little bit at this point,
Well, but, not to completely change gears, but because I know we're running out of time, I just wanted to ask you guys, because I kind of feel weird. I know it's always weird, like, we're getting interviewed at night. It just weirds me out while you're talking about us. But How'd you guys start this? Why'd you guys start doing it with the local artists and bringing them on, and how did it get started?
We got to thank Chris Merkley and those folks, because part of this really is really due to what happened with COVID, the issues there, and the fact that the Main Street Music Series really kind of had to halt. The beauty is, guys, make sure you're supporting the Main Street Music Series, because it's back up and running. They're doing it at Rose Hall. Next couple of weeks, we got some great acts coming up, so I'm going to definitely give that plug out there. But no, that was the real impetus for this, was, all right, let's make sure that, we get this stuff out there, So went out, Chris found the grants, they wrote all this stuff, got, the funding and all of that. And the beauty is, this is such a vibrant, has always been, as an outsider that came into it, I was always impressed with the sheer volume. I'm from Michigan, Detroit, Ann Arbor area.
Detroit, right.
But, I've been here for, about 20 years now. And one of the first things that impressed me was the depth of the musical talent around this region as a whole. And so the beauty is to be able to support them, especially given everything that's going on, because you guys know it just like everybody else, especially the musicians out there. The gig space started to die away. But the thing is, you want to make sure that these people are still getting their voice out there. So thank you guys for, keeping on doing what you're doing. But that's the real impetus there, was, to make sure that, we're all supporting each other and keeping this stuff going. Because I'm sorry, it's therapeutic. I mean, guys, thank you for being here, because Vinny and I talk about it every week. This is, kind of our therapy session. So, thank you. You guys make it easy.
This is cool.
I'm
lucky enough to now have done both sort of versions of this. So thanks. The first one was really fun.
Rose
but
Hall.
This is great. Yeah, Rose Hall is great. We actually recorded part of our. We did a video there for a thing we submitted for the NPR Tiny Desk, which is a different version of the song we're probably about to play at the end here. We did that over at Rose Hall. We did that session. We actually did some other recording sessions at Rose Hall. So that's kind of become a little home away from home for us. I mean, it's only 30 minutes away in Syracuse for us, so it has
great space.
Oh, hello. A little home away from home.
You guys are you went to Baldwinsville area, Syracuse, right?
Yeah.
So, right.
We
live
in the city coming from Detroit to Syracuse is saying that there's a vibrant music scene, because I always say, a lot of our young artists think, I got to move to New York, or I got to go to L.A. And sure, there's a lot of great opportunity there, but the best songwriters aren't the best song in the world right now probably isn't in New York City. It's probably someone in some tiny ass town
they've never
who's going to work their ass off and hopefully one day be heard.
But and doing it,
it's like New York and LA give you opportunity, but they don't give you talent. No. A lot of people think if I go there, I'll make it. It's like you got to have
Nashville being another place.
Nashville, I just picked those two. Nashville, Chicago.
Chicago's another one,
The big times.
You could be home. I mean, the beauty is, I think that's one of the glories of the internet. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
all right, guys, we'll be closing out with
a song called "Colorful Lungs," and it's kind of about how, like we were just saying, everyone's pretty awesome underneath it, also.
Yeah, it's about someone who really doesn't understand their worth, and the world kind of does. And also, this is the sort of titular track of everything that's coming up. This is sort of the impetus.
It kind of relates to America in a way, because it is saying, it's not about the politics, it's not about American pride, it's just about that we are a country of a melting pot of a bunch of people, and we're beautiful, and we're all very colorful in the literal or metaphorical way. And it's basically trying to say, keep your chin up, because it might be shitty now, but it'll get better. So it gets better when you're older.
Better when you're older.
Colorful Lungs.
4 days our skin captured the sun, so easily led a cold black water's edge. You look so tired and glad to be invited in, convinced again this is where you begin. I can hear it in your colorful lungs. I can hear it in your colorful lungs. Brace for the surface, you are worth this, dear. I promise you that you won't disappear. I can hear it in your colorful look back, not down. Finding the color and the sound of dreams circling so sweet. A bird just echoing in the deep. I can hear it in your colorful, colorful lungs. I can hear it in your colorful, colorful lungs. I can see it in your smile, can feel it in your words, can taste it on your tongue. I can hear it in your colorful, colorful
Thanks again, guys. Rob McCall and Corey Jordan with All Poets and Heroes. Charles.
So much. You guys are great intro, by the way. I just want to say that.
Nah,
you guys
make
it
it
easy,
great.
man.
Seriously,
Make it
you guys.
easy, man. Oh, thank you.
I got to go home and practice my guitar more.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm not getting much sleep tonight, so. All right, everybody.
Yeah,
Hey.
You know?
Charles, we got a couple more of these, don't
Yeah,
we?
we got a couple more of them. So next week we got Gary Carpenter.
Hey,
So Gary Carpenter will be here next week. So
Nice.
that'd
and
be fun.
And like
Bump,
we said,
bump.
get out to that Rose Hall in the meantime, you know?
Exactly.
So.
You know. And guys, good luck in Boston.
Yeah,
we look
thank
forward to
you.
these
Man,
releases.
seriously,
So,
enjoy that.
You know?
So do we.
We'll send them to you.
There you go.
One of the first ones, so.
Have a good night, everybody.
WXHC-FM, Homer, Cortland. Online at WXHC.com with the app and on